While it is verifiably true, I guess not verifiably, but we're mostly sure that the boogeyman is not real. There are things out there and people out there who aren't what you want to be around at night or alone with. A lot of times as a child, you may think or feel like the adults are just putting rules on you to kind of suppress your fun and maybe teach you some kind of lesson by letting you get to do or disallowing you from doing things you find interesting, as if that's going to build your character. But a lot of times you don't even realize that it's really to protect you. You know, oftentimes when something bad happens to someone, if you say what I'm about to say, sometimes people will say that you're blaming the victim. Of course, you never blame the victim for something that bad having happened to them, but we're responsible for our safety to as much of a degree as we can execute protection of ourselves. And so, use the buddy system when you're going out with your friends on a college night, especially you and Burpee and a girl. Always know that your friends are safe and make sure that they know you're safe. Have a designated person who's there to watch out for safety. Sometimes that can involve if you're drinking out. You want to know that everybody's good and everybody's making it back home okay. And while you're as small as you are now, one simple thing you can do, and that I hope anybody else who's over you is saying, is when you're out there playing with your friends, make sure you're home by dark. Don't get yourself into situations that compromise your safety. Things like being home by dark, obviously you're going to get older and you're going to be out past dark. But, again, forethought. If you look at what you're about to do, think, does my risk of being harmed or lost or somehow victimized go up if I do this? Just look out for your own safety, you know? Don't get into situations that you could think ahead and say, hey, there's a likelihood that something bad could happen with that, so let me stay out of that. Hopefully I'm able to train you to know what that looks like in practice. But if not, a general rule of thumb is that if you can imagine that it's feasible that you will either be incapacitated or left alone in a vulnerable state, then go ahead and just avoid that situation altogether. Or if you're going to be involved in the situation, whatever that may be, make sure you involve parameters, boundaries that are going to be protected. For instance, sometimes when I go on long distance hikes, I try to let family members know exactly when I'm leaving, what trail I'm taking, and exactly when I'm going to be done with the trail, or when I intend to be done with the trail. In fact, both of your mothers have called park rangers when I've been on a trail to make sure I'm okay. Or, yeah, I think so. I think that maybe was it. But that kind of thing, that kind of forethought, those kind of parameters to set up when you are doing something that could be sketch. But anyway,